Well, I'm sure y'all want to talk about Juicy. What do y'all want to know? She shot, no.
Well, Juicy, at what point today did you feel like everything was going to go in?
I mean, maybe like the second shot I took in the corner, but coach has pretty much been getting on me about shooting the ball. So, I mean, I just gotta take chances and shoot. Even if I'm missing, I kind of get down on myself. But she's the motivation for me to keep shooting the ball.
Juicy, was that part of it today? Because you really hadn't taken that many shots all year. And I guess maybe your teammates too finding you. I guess that was part of it.
Definitely. Without them and our coaching staff, I guess it just wouldn't have been possible for me to break that record. But for them to be able to find me today, it was just great.
How does it feel, NCAA record? Baylor record, Big 12, NCAA.
It feels great. I just know we still have a lot of basketball to play, so just that one record, just can't think about it. Just got to keep moving forward.
It looked like starting maybe in the third quarter, things just started to get real fun. You were kind of had the hand up there after shots, and you had the behind-the-back pass to Dee Dee. Can you just describe what it was like to feel it in that way and have fun in that way?
She listened to me.
I listened to Coach.
Did y'all not see when she's coming down the floor? I'm like, it's time to throw it behind the back, behind the back.
Yes, Coach was yelling at me behind the back, behind the back.
Yeah.
She did.
Look, I'm a point guard, man. It was beautiful.
Okay.
It was she had one earlier. She didn't hear me to the list. She could have thrown it like behind her.
Yeah, Coach told me to make the behind the back.
No, I looked. I couldn't find her.
Couldn't find her. Okay.
Dee Dee said, "I'm just trying to concentrate on making the shot." She said, "You passed to me." I was like, "Okay, 2 steps, and I gotta make the shot." But Coach kind of told me to make that pass.
I kind of talk to them when they coming down the floor a little bit.
A lot of it. Like
What about,
a lot of bit.
What about your teammates rushing over to you after number 14? Just your feelings at that point?
It's a great feeling. Family, sisters, just to be able to have them to cheer me on, to help me make that record. It's a great feeling, and I couldn't ask for better teammates.
Kim, you've had a lot of great shooters, but that display.
Well, at halftime, she had 5,
Yeah.
and we were just casually talking in coaches' meeting in the coaches' locker room, and they said Juicy could break the record today at half. She's got 5, and she could tie the Baylor record, I think, at 9. Well, I had no idea who held the Baylor record. Well, I since found out it was Odyssey and Mandy Hayworth. So at halftime, I just went in there and I thought, Juicy's so quiet, plays a role, kind of unassuming, just let me fit in and I'll help you win ball games, but don't bring attention to myself. And I thought, you know what? When you're feeling it as a shooter, you're feeling it. And I went in at halftime and I told them, if you get a chance, let Juicy break the record today. Well, I was talking about the Baylor record. So she got to 9, and then they're like, well, let her break it. So I kept her in there. Well, when she got to 10, then it was Coach. She only needs 2 more to tie something Big 12. It just kept building.
Right. So
at each time out, I'd say, okay, we'll find her again. And it's just a joy to watch teammates be happy for each other. It's fun to it's just when you get to coach an unselfish group and they understand, guys, that's hard to do, to hit that many threes in a game. You're never going to get that opportunity very often, and for them to find her, for them to be happy for her, she did it, with a lot of young kids here that probably will always hear that name Juicy now the rest of their lives because she grew up in Waco. These are Waco little ones, and they're like, God, I was there that day when she broke the record. But there were a lot of things good today. Coop could have had a double-double if she, I'd have put her back in. Queen comes in and does have a double-double. And if you look at Juicy's stats, she could have had a triple-double, really. It was fun to coach them today because we've been off from games for 2 weeks or so, and you don't really know sometimes how they're going to react. They're ready to go home for the holidays, hard practices, some days not so hard. I just thought we were really, really into it and very enthusiastic the way we played. And I told them at halftime, you play like this, I don't care what the opponent is, you just had a little extra pep in their step today. And it could have been because of Juicy's shooting. I don't care what it is, but you had a little extra pep in your step today.
Well, it was on in terms of interior passing and moving the ball around from early on today, and you finished with 37 assists on 42 made baskets. Is that about as good as it gets on that assist to turnover?
It is, and I told him in a timeout. It was one possession there where it was boom, 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 boom. Oh, let me do one more pass. That's this game at its best. That's the beauty of basketball. And when you have a team, you know, guys, you can go back in the NBA in some different eras and see that's all they did. They never dribbled. They could just pass the ball and find each other. And it was very, very obvious today. I think in the first quarter we had 6 turnovers. The second quarter we didn't have any. The first quarter they hit 15 points. In the second quarter I think they had 2, you know, maybe 4. Those kind of things you acknowledge to your kids and you tell them. You know, I don't look at that just scoreboard. I'm looking at individual things that will help us in tight games so that I can bring it back to their memory when we're in those tight games.
Was that the defensive effort you were looking for? You talked about that quite a bit leading up to the game.
Yes, and we are still missing that extra help. You know, we're still when these teams and Arkansas State did this, they'll spread the floor on you. We still are hesitant to really help off of our shooter. You know, and we've got to get better at that. We've got to learn when to help and recover, when not to help, when to try to take a charge. Because of offenses nowadays, it makes it a lot more difficult. And we'll get better.
Tell you, I'm not sure how many of your 10 assists were to her, but, I mean, when you've got a shooter like that, you just trying to find her. I mean, you know where she is.
Absolutely. I mean, me and Juicy are partners in shooting drills, and that's my partner, so it's easy to find her.
Could you tell real early on that she had it going?
Yeah, after like the second one, you can tell. Once she start leaving her hand up, it's a wrap.
How you felt fitting in with this team now?
I felt good since I've been here. It's pretty easy. I mean, they're great people. They've embraced me. I feel like I've been here for 4 years, so it's fun.
Juicy, Coach mentioned all the kids that were in attendance, and when you were making those threes, they got really excited about it early in the game, and there was this real high-pitched roar. Were you aware of that on the court, that was kind of every time you hit one, it was creating that kind of sound?
Definitely. Once the first one in, and I heard the kids, I was like, okay. And I feel like it would get louder as time passed by.
They got really loud at 100.
It's a level of that you just can't
goes
describe.
a little higher. I mean,
Yeah.
100, they all went crazy
yeah, that was when they
for like 2
Just happy not
minutes.
to be in class.
I thought Trinity Oliver was very good for us and solid today. She found Juicy on penetrating and just flipping little passes over. She did the simple things, didn't try to do too much. And I was just looking at our bench, 34-8 compared to theirs. And as much as Juicy scored the ball, you look at your paint points. So we didn't get away from post touches there. So those are not just the Juicy show today, although it really was. It was everybody got some of the action today.
So you guys had a lot of passes where you were kind of like a shot dump pass down into the post. And
Well, they never got out of their zone. It was either a 2-3 or the 1-2-2, 3-2, and then maybe 1 or 2 possessions of a 1-3-1, and that middle is your cushion right there. And we usually attack it with a 2-guard front and have our 3, 4, and 5 players be your baseline players. And our 3-player, all she got to do is flash right there. You don't even have to use a post. And then with size, they just wedge, and you can either shoot that jumper or
Secrets.
that's all right. They get film or dump it down. But starting Dee Dee at the 4 was interesting for me. I think I learned a lot. I think Dee Dee can help us some at the 4 as an undersized post, because she just has a knack, can kind of make an extra pass there. Mm-hmm. So it was good to kind of watch her, because when she started her career here, that's where I started her, was at the 4. And then I thought, this kid's too good defensively with her length and quickness on the perimeter. And then, of course, we had Kalani and and a lot of post players. But she did some things to let me know that if I need her to play the 4 for us, I'm not going to hesitate to do that.
Is that why you went with that lineup?
No, actually, they can tell you. I get a gauge in practice, and I got frustrated in practice yesterday, and I just said, you know what, I'm going with this lineup, and it's motivation. Some of it is put kids in a position where they can be successful. I think Queen, we're not even talking about her, and she had a double-double today. I mean, we're not even sitting here talking about her, and that's what she does. She quietly comes off the bench, and when the game's over, you don't realize what she's done. And I think Queen just kind of relishes in that role. And when you put her out there starting, I don't know, she doesn't seem comfortable. So I thought the lineup we started was very good today.
But you touched on it yesterday, but just how important are these next couple weeks, not only to get home with family, but also to be ready to go with conference play starting so quickly after y'all get back?
Well, the first thing is get Lauren Cox back on this floor when she comes back. I told her when she gets in her car and drives home, don't use the foot that's been injured. When you accelerate and hit the brake, use that other foot. Okay? So this will give her 2 more weeks to rest that foot. And when she comes back, I don't want to hear about her foot again, because we're ready to rock and roll. It's the second half of our season after, Morehead State. The most important part of our season comes up. And we need Lauren Cox, and we need a healthy Lauren Cox, and it just makes us better. Christmas time, anybody that knows me will tell you family comes first. I've never lost that priority in my life, ever. And my family comes first, and I want to be home with my family, and I want my players to be home with their families. And that's why I've always in recruiting tried to tell them there's sometimes I can't give you a week off. There's sometimes I can give you a little more than a week. But we're going to go home for Christmas because it's the most special time of the year. And I'm looking forward to being finished with you guys, take my high heels off, go prop my feet up on the green chair in my house, watch a few ball games, and eat till I can't eat anymore, and enjoy my kids and grandkids. And all of you should do the same. Keep your priorities in order. And that's hard for us to do sometimes.
Hey, Juicy, just as players, how much does it mean to you to have a coach that prioritizes being able to spend time with family this time of year?
It's great. Some people they're not able to go home for Christmas break. They have practice or they might have a game. So for her just to be able to let us do this, just be grateful. We're grateful.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I think the rest of our team does too. And yeah, what Juicy said.
I was just looking at this, guys. You can't mention everything in an article, but if you can, Nalissa doesn't miss a shot today. Nalissa Smith doesn't miss a shot today from the field, and she almost has a double-double. There's so many of them you could write about. I'll study this more when I get home, but while you definitely write about Juicy, good grief, look at what others did in the minutes that they played. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, okay?